Hello people of YouTube, 'tis I once more, the Crimson Assassin, here today to give you a very impromptu video. Originally, I had absolutely, probably no intention of filming this or doing this review. Not really review per se, but more like my thoughts about a certain show that I have been watching since I started the summer. And I will also give you kind of like a little brief history of my history, at least with the series and the franchise as a whole. Today we're going to talk about YuGiOh Arc V. Now before, I really started giving you my thoughts about YuGiOh Arc V, yes, I am a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, people of YouTube, this is my very own deck box, and I have my very own cards in here. Yes, I actually duel on occasion with a few of my friends, and sometimes on occasion my older brother. And back in the day, I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I really liked the card game, and I really liked the anime itself. It's a very interesting, very cool. I love the story. I loved everything about Yu-Gi-Oh! To the original adaptation, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters, to GX, to 5Ds, I enjoyed all of the Yu-Gi-Ohs. Then Zexal came along, and I really didn't watch Zexal, albeit now I am actually watching Zexal after catching up with Arc V. I really enjoyed the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise as a whole. I thought it was one of the best franchises on 4Kids at the time. Like, believe it or not, people of YouTube, out of all of the English dubs that 4Kids have ever done, the 4Kids for like the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And to some certain extent 5Ds and GX, they were pretty good. But mainly the original Duel Monsters, like the original dub for the original Duel Monsters, that dub was pretty spot on and really good. That would go like on par with like the original Pokemon dub. Like, that's how good this dub is. So naturally, people of YouTube, at one point in my life, I was very heavily into the series, but what made me kind of fall back on it was that the fact that I didn't know a lot of people who actually played the card game, and I didn't know a lot of people who, really watched Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. Like, they thought that, it's just a card game, it's whatever. And I kind of fell out of it. Like, I did, for a long period of time, saw the original. I saw the entirety of GX, although my memory of it is kind of gone. And for the most part, my memory of 5Ds is gone. And, but I do remember a lot of the things that happened in 5Ds and in GX. I absolutely loved them. So, people, I'm a huge fan of Yu-Gi-Oh! Okay? So, I would say I stopped watching the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Or at least after 5Ds. I never saw Zexal, although after finishing Arc V, like I mentioned before, I am now watching Zexal. So far. But I really liked Yu-Gi-Oh! As you can see, I have 3 deck boxes. Yes, people of YouTube. Yes. So, I'm here today to give you my thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V. Now, it's been a very long time since I've seen the original Yu-Gi-Oh! And let alone 5Ds. Like, I remember, like, the last thing I saw from 5Ds was, like, towards the ending, where after, they all the signers come together and they defeat, I forgot his fucking name, yeah, you see. But, freaking Crimson Dragon was so cool. Well, okay. But, Arc V, I'll say 5D, so Arc V, Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, I haven't seen a Yu-Gi-Oh! For a long time, so when coming into this anime for the very first time, I didn't know what new types of summonings were there. Apparently they introduced Xyz and freaking Arc V, and Zexal, and now with this new type of summoning called Pendulum. Oh, pendulums. I didn't know what to go into Yu-Gi-Oh! In fact, I knew a friend in high school. The reason why I kind of got back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Because a friend of mine got me back into dueling, and he really wanted me to check out Arc V. So, needless to say, I did check out Arc V, and so my personal opinion about Arc V is this. I'm impressed. I really did like, I'm liking Arc V. Okay, honestly, Arc 5, as the time of this recording, is still ongoing. Arc 5 is still a work in progress. It's still ongoing. It has 120 episodes as I'm filming this review. I just finished episode 120 right now. And, oof. That last episode, they left off with a pretty awesome cliffhanger. I won't go into that, that's a huge spoiler. But I really like Arc 5 as a whole. So, what are my thoughts about Arc 5? Like I mentioned before, I do like the series. And what do I like about it? And what do I dislike about it? Because there are, sadly, a few things I kind of dislike about Arc 5. But what do I like? Animation. It's no-brainer. The animation is top-notch, very colorful. I like the designs of all of the monsters that you see in Yu-Gi-Oh! That you've seen throughout Yu-Gi-Oh! And I really like their design. I like the character designs, although I just love roasting their hair. Their hair still looks creative and freaking weird at the same time. Like Yuya, my boy, what's up with that hair? You look like a fucking Christmas tree. Like, saying some stupid shit like that. But, needless to say, I do like the animation. The art design is fantastic. The dueling, oh my god, the dueling in Arc 5 is freaking top notch. Each duel will leave you towards the edge of your seat wondering what is going to happen next. I really like the dueling in Arc 5. Especially with the new types of summoning that I was not introduced to yet until way later on. I knew what synchro summoning was, I knew what fusion summoning was, but I had no idea at the time what X-Seed summoning or what was a pendulum summon at that. So when I first saw, you know, X-Seeds for the very first time, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll buy it. But then Pendulum shows up. I mean, Pendulum summoning has to be like one of the most broken things I've ever seen. So, you know, you set a Pendulum scale and you get to summon however many monsters you want, depending on what numbers are in between that scale. So you set a scale 1 through scale 8, you can summon monsters between levels 2 through 7. I like that idea. It's very broken. It's a very broken idea. Like, damn. That is very broken. And I also like how they kind of up the ante when it comes to dueling. Like, you know, they still have the original one-on-one kind of duels, and they also even bring back the turbo dueling from 5Ds. But the new installment to the YuGiOh franchise is action duels, where basically instead of just one-on-one companion, which that could happen, they actually run around this field and they actually collect what's called action cards that can actually help a player or, you know, just, you know, screw the player up in general. So like you'll be in the middle of attacking, you would run around, you see an action card, you pick it up, you use it to their advantage, and it's freaking crazy. Like that's what I meant by the duel upping their ante. Like, it's fantastic. I love the duel. It's very fast-paced, very awesome. I love it. I freaking love it. Also, the various strategies that these characters come up with when it comes to their dueling, and each character having their own specific way of trying to duel, especially Yuya's and, you know, Gongenzuka, which, by the way, people, I saw the original Japanese dub. I am not talking about that English dub. Oh boy, that English dub. I do like the voice acting. The voice acting's top notch. I really enjoy the Japanese voice acting for Arc 5. You can really tell they are taking their job seriously, unlike a certain dubbed. I do like the duels in Arc 5. They're fantastic. And also the voice acting in general. Next we have the characters. All the characters are really enjoyed. To the main protagonist, to even one episode appearance, to supporting, to recurring, to what have you, to even returning characters from previous Yu-Gi-Oh franchises. I enjoyed all of the characters, okay? Now, a lot of people's issue with Arc 5 pertains around the characters, okay? Mainly, our main protagonist, Yuya. And, to which by a certain degree, I could see why they have issues with Yuya, especially after the 120 plus episodes they have with him. I do have to defend him as if he's kind of, like, out of all the Yu-Gi-Oh characters out there, I think Yuya is one of the most realistic main characters. Like, there are moments in Arc 5 where Yuya tends to doubt himself, Yuya tends to be a little pessimistic, but at times, he always finds ways to go around the opponent and win the duel at the end. I really like that about Yuya. His personality is great, his character is very well developed, you really have a certain attachment with Yuya, you can really relate to Yuya and his predicament, and I outright enjoy Yuya as a character in general. And out of all of the main characters, he is literally the most realistic one, as Yuya tends to lose in a lot of duels, and every time he loses, he kind of grows on it and improves his dueling without question. Especially him being the founder of Pendulum Summons, you bet you have to set an example of really trying to ep up your game, if you catch my drift. So outright, I really enjoyed Yuya as a character. People really tend to have an issue with Yuya, but I don't. I really go by his side and I defend Yuya because, you know, if you really think about it, all the other, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Main protagonists, I don't know so much about Zexal. I mean, from what I saw from Zexal, I mean, yeah, you can kind of argue that, but most of the characters, like, especially the main characters of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise, they always tend to win. And I barely remember any moments in, like, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Besides, like, that one time in Duelist Kingdom where he fought Kaiba, or where Yugi fought Kaiba and he loses, or maybe a few moments in, like, 5D. I think I count, like, 3 moments in 5Ds that you say ever lost, and Jaden, I don't recall him ever losing at all. Yuya loses constant, like, almost constantly, like, there's a certain duel that happens between, I would say, like, episodes 60-ish to about 80-ish. I'm sorry, somewhere along the lines of those two, between those episodes. But there's a moment where he fights a returning character from a certain, one of the series. I'm not going to tell who. And he loses, and you can tell he really grows by that losing. And, you know, and other moments too, like, Yuya tends to lose and grows by that loss. I don't remember any other Yu-Gi-Oh! Main character really losing. I bet you guys are gonna put on the comments, well, what about Yuma from Zexal? I don't know anything about Zexal, okay? So, calm your face, okay? Shit. But outright, I enjoyed Yuya as a character. And of course, among the other characters, like, you have Yuzu, who I really enjoyed as a character. Go Genzuka, who's really awesome. One of the characters I really kind of grew an attachment to was Kurosaki. And, you know, a certain friend of mine has his deck. Like, literally, he has his deck. Like, to a T, he has his deck. And I hate that deck so much. It gave me nightmares. But Kurosaki, the character, he really grew on me. Like, at one moment he becomes this, but as the anime goes on, especially where they're at in, like, the current state, he really has a good character development. I really enjoy Kurosaki as a character, as well as the other characters like YuGiOh, Yuto, Yuri, yeah, even Yuri. To even the returning characters who I really enjoyed and got a kick out of. And yes, people, there's only one character from Zexal that returns to my knowledge. You know, I'm not gonna say who returns from Zexal, but he's back. Let's just say that. He's back. Anyway. Okay, so I'm kind of talking its praise. By the way, the story of Arc 5, probably one of the best stories I've seen in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise. Like, I absolutely downright love the story that they went for in Arc 5. Which kind of will go into one of my issues, but it's only one issue, like maybe like a few issues that I have with it. Like, yeah, there are a few issues that I have with Arc 5. Like, the constant reusing animations, like, they tend to reuse the same animation for the same things over and over and over again. Hell, even the original Yu-Gi-Oh! You know, switched their animation here and there. You know, like, how many times are we going to see the same Odd Eyes animation over and over when he's summoned? How many times are we going to see that? How many times are we going to see Dark Rebellion, Exceed's Dragon, freaking, you know, same animation when he's summoned? Like, out of the entirety of Arc 5, I would say, like, 75% of it is reused animation. more particularly in the duels per se, but it's still reused animation. It's kind of annoying, especially if they keep reusing the same animation. And trying to go back to what I said about one of my issues involving the story. At first, the story, oh my god, I was kind of like this close to about giving up and stop watching Arc V, mainly because the pacing of the story takes too long, and it went on for way too, like, pertainingly in the beginning. I would say the first 25 episodes of Arc V is just very boring, very slow, very uninteresting. It will take you to episode 25 for it to get really good. Okay? And the story is fantastic. This is one of the most unique stories ever tackled in a Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. I'm not kidding. Yu-Gi-Oh Arc V has done one of the most complex, one of the most interesting, one of the most far-fetched, craziest stories I've seen in a long time. I'm not going to tell you what the story is because it pertains to a few spoilers, but I will say this. The story will have you intrigued, and it is the best thing about the anime, besides the dueling and the characters and the drama. The drama is actually pretty good for a Yu-Gi-Oh show. So, the pacing, very slow. Hell, even during like a few arcs and a few moments and a few duels, it takes forever for it to end, and it takes too long for at least like one duel. Like, it'll be like one person's turn and it'll last you like the entire episode. I'm not kidding. It takes that long. The pacing is very, very, very slow. And it's even inconsistent because some duels take like 2 episodes, some duels take like 1 episode, some duels even last you 15 minutes. What? It's very bizarre how they tackled the pacing in this anime. And not to mention, in Arc V pertaining to its story, they keep throwing things in the middle of things that are already going on. Like, there are like 5 things going on the story of Arc V, okay? Like, again, I'm not gonna say what, but there's gonna be a moment during a certain tournament where, like, I almost kid you not, there are like 5, maybe 6 things going on at once, you know, and it's like, it's very hard to keep track on what's going on, and it's very inconsistent, okay? Especially the parts pertaining around, yeah, okay, you know, I can't really say that. I have to stop myself there because those are spoilers, and for those of you who have not seen Arc V, go check out Arc V. I think if you kind of have, like, because what I'm told, Zexal isn't really that good. Okay, but I am going to still watch Zexal even if everyone tells me not to. I'm still going to watch it because I'm interested in it, and plus the character from Zexal is in Arc V, so I kind of have to have his knowledge and shit, but whatever. I do really wish that it kind of finished so I can give you like a really in-depth thing. Like, maybe I'll do like a follow-up video, like maybe like a spoiler, my thoughts on Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc V, where I kind of go in deep with the story, because there are a lot of things about the story I find very interesting, very awesome, but there's just so many things happening at once, it's kind of hard to keep track. But people of YouTube, don't fret, Arc V is probably even better than Zexal. I would know because I never seen Zexal. Okay, I take that back. I'm like in episode 15 of Zexal. So, someone leave in the comments down below when does that get good, because I like what they're going with Zexal from the most part. And I will also kind of defend Yuma, but that'll be a video for another time, hopefully. So people of YouTube, sorry for the tiny little jump cut, but that will wrap this video up. So until then, people of YouTube, if you would like to see more, please consider subscribing. I will hopefully make a follow-up video later on about a certain game. I will be hopefully live streaming today. Oh yeah! I will be hopefully live streaming Overwatch. That'll be fun. And I just got that like 3 days ago. I'm already having fun with the game. But that's gonna wrap this video up. Until then, people of YouTube, Comes an Assassin signing out. Peace.